It's great to have your company up until midday as we dissect the trade period, which came to a close 7:30 last night. In the end, 21 deals involving players and picks. Perhaps not the headline acts of last year, but nevertheless, in the nitty-gritty, the negotiations were just as significant. And this man, well, he took his time coming to the party, but he did so in big style yesterday because that ruck merry-go-round took a while to get moving. It was seized shut for a long time, and in the end, Johnny Segler got his way and he got to the Cats, and the man that helped tie it all together is from Precision Sports Management Group, Liam Pickering. Welcome, Picks.
Hello, Sammy. We're now Bravo Sports Management, of course, Bravo Management Group. But
apologies. Old habits die hard.
It is. Good to see you.
Good to see you in the studio.
Well, I only get to walk my office where I'm sitting at the moment because we're all over the place in here. So I had to walk maybe 15 metres to walk in here, so I thought it'd be easier than doing it on the phone. I had a bit of an issue yesterday with the... I did the boys, they were in the studio downstairs and they did me on the phone. It sounded like I was underwater.
Yeah, I know. I thought you were in the Batcave.
The throwback was horrible.
Where were you? Matty Rendell said
I was at home.
Matty Rendell thought you were on the throne.
No, I was at home. I'm not sure what was going on there, but anyway, they fixed the line after that. But I did feel a bit bad for it. What's going on with your hair?
I knew. Let's get this out of the way.
Now, I wondered yesterday when I saw you and you were wearing a stupid bloody baseball cap, and I'm thinking, what's going on with Sam? But then I walked in and I saw the front of your head, and I thought, you've done the old. Do it for Doc. You do it for Doc. You've shaved the head, and I thought that was bad enough. And then you turned around and showed me the back of it. What happened at the back?
So you can't get a bloody haircut in this town at the moment, and my hair was out of control. It always is, but it had got beyond the joke.
It was looking better than it is now.
Oh, it was actually. I've got shaver's remorse, so I've got the clippers at home. I thought I'll just shave it on a 3 and be done with it. And wait, when barber's open, I can go back in and get it done properly. But I missed a spot at the top. Did it with my young fella, and my lovely wife said, "Oh, you've missed a tuft at the top. Go and sort that out." By then, I'd had a few balls in there. Quickly went and grabbed the clippers. Realised and forgotten that I'd taken the number 3 attachment off.
Oh, no.
In between times and shaved it on the blade. So I've taken a huge chunk out of the back of my skull. No one needs to see that.
Yes. You'd had half a dozen beers before you did it. The way the mesh you've made of your head. So anyway, It's good to be in here, Sammy. And it's, we got through, didn't we, in the end? I mean, it wasn't, it was pretty slow. How'd you go? I mean, I was going to have to take a restraining order out on you at one stage there because...
Seems to be the common feedback.
The amount of phone calls you were making.
Well, we all want to know what's going on.
Sam, I'm sitting 15 metres away from you.
I didn't want to go and bother you at your desk.
That's why I had my door closed the whole time.
And the shutters down.
Don't come in here.
No, I didn't want to go that far. But I guess we all thought that the rucks should have, and we expected them to fall into place pretty easily. In the end, it was anything but easy. Now... with your guy first, who was a part of it all, Johnny Segler, who was told to look around by Hawthorn, but he was contracted for one more year. The dollars are obviously a bit of an issue, and Hawthorn want to reset. We get all that. Was that the most debatable point between the Cats and the Hawks? Is it how much Hawthorn were going to contribute in the end?
Not really. No. I'd worked that Hawthorn part of it out reasonably easily, to be honest. No, there was a bit of other stuff going on. It sort of just dragged on a little bit because I think of the pick swaps and all that sort of stuff. And I think there was probably something to do with Jordan Clark in there as well that might have just held it out a little bit longer than we would have liked. But it got done. That's the main thing. And, I mean, good opportunity for Segs to go down to Geelong. He can work in tandem with Reece Stanley. He's a very good tap ruckman. And I think you'll give the Cats something that the Cats haven't had for a couple of years, a genuine big, tall ruckman that can get his hands on the ball.
He's been around for a while, Segs, but how did he take the news and how quickly did he get his head around going down the highway and playing for the Cats? The arch rivals for so long.
Look, I don't know if you've ever spoken to Segs, but he's low key as any bloke you'd ever meet. So nothing phases the big man. So he was contracted at Hawthorn, happy to stay. Saw the opportunity at Geelong, thinks it's a great opportunity. He's obviously Isaac's down there as well. So I think it'll work really well, and it's going to be a good fit for him and Charlotte, his wife. So I think staying in Victoria because there was interest like Brisbane early days. Brisbane had a bit of a reach out for him. They'd had a crack at him a couple of years ago, and the move to Brisbane probably wasn't going to be ideal, and it wouldn't have probably financially worked anyway. But and we had a brief discussion with the Bulldogs, but they're the 3 obvious ones. You want to go to a club that's somewhere up near the top that's competing. So Geelong's a really good fit for Segs, and I know the age thing, and people talk about another old bloke coming to Geelong, but I think with ruckman, it's a whole different ball game. Every ruckman can play on. I mean, Shane Mumford, I heard you talking to Jace McCartney before.
The door's ajar.
I thought he was retired. He's 35 now. He's still a chance to get to come back. So
Amazing.
I don't think you can put the ruckman in the older brigade, if you know what I mean.
And you mentioned Jordan Clark, but Darcy Fort was obviously a big part of Jonathan Segler's move as well, going up to Brisbane.
And Darcy, it's a good opportunity for Darcy as well. Brisbane really want him. They'll play him. The Cats, whilst they were happy to keep Darcy, I think if they couldn't get Segs done, the reality was they haven't shown a lot of confidence in him in the last 12, 18 months. So to me, if they're not going to play him, well, he'll get his opportunity at Brisbane. And I think it'll be good for Brisbane. I actually quite like Darcy.
Yeah. And if you don't mind me asking, Johnny Segler, 2-year deal down at Geelong?
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to ask you about Mason Cox and what Darcy Fort leaving means, what Max Lynch leaving for Hawthorn from Collingwood means for Mason Cox. Now, Graham Wright has just spoken to the media where he says, we are in conversations with Liam Pickering. Of course, you manage Mason Cox. We would like Mason to stay. Pickers and I had some conversations late yesterday, and we'll pick that up again today to see where that lands. Are you optimistic?
Yeah. Well, that's really, right. He's on the money. That's exactly where it sits at the moment. So, Mason's in Austin, Texas at the moment. He's heading to New York and he's having his holiday. He'll be back in a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, I think. So, look, at this stage, we'll be talking this afternoon with Collingwood and, he's out of contract. So, there was a discussion with Fremantle over the weekend. If Rory Lobb had gone, I think there was...
I think I bothered you about this as well, but no reply.
No, sorry, Sam. It's actually not deliberate. I mean, you're not the only one that I don't reply to.
Of course
so, but it's hard. I don't want to give speculation to something that's not even real.
Well, it was real. You just told me it was real.
No. But anyway, whatever. What I'm saying is that I spoke to Wolsey about it. Justin Longmuir had a chat with Mason because he knows him from Collingwood.
Yep.
And Bordy's over there as well, Matty Boyd. So if the Roy Lobb one had fallen over, there was a really good opportunity that they would have,
if Rory had gone through to...
If Rory had gone to the Giants, I think that would have been real. But and so as I said, they had a chat, and so I'll speak to Righty this afternoon. And the Max Lynch one was always going to... If Lynch got to Hawthorn, who they really wanted, Mason was a really good chance to stay. We knew that.
And did Brisbane reach out for Mason in the end? Was he on the so-called shortlist?
No. We'd spoken. I think they'd spoken last time. I wasn't looking after Mason at the time, but I think when he was out of contract last time, which was 3 or 4 years ago, I think they'd put an offer to him then. But no, not in this period. I'd spoken to them about Mason, but they were a reasonably fair way down the track, I think, with Darcy Fort.
And Mason's a relatively new client for you, but how's he's matter of fact about it all? He's pretty straight up and down sort of fella.
Well, it's a bit hard because it's sort of the 8-hour time difference.
Yeah.
So
what does that mean for you? You like your sleep?
Oh, no. I'm actually a late in bed guy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Bit of late night
shocking
TV.
Sleeper. Oh, shocking sleeper. But, yeah, so I spoke to him at, I think first time I spoke to him over there, I didn't know what the time difference was. Half past 1 in the morning.
So you woke him up?
Yeah, pretty much. I rang him and he said, I'll come back to you or whatever. And then that was when we spoke. So, but we've sort of timed it over the last few days pretty well. But yeah, look, he's pretty good about it all. He understands the business. I mean, they've got a new coach coming in, and they'll have a different game style. I do think that there's a really good opportunity for Mason to do some good stuff at Collingwood. It'll depend on the way they move the ball, and if they can get it in quickly to him, he's still a handful. So
it's all sounding positive for Collingwood, so we don't want to throw the cat amongst the pigeons here. The Saints, were they ever an option? Could they be now that they didn't get Tristan Sherry?
No, they haven't. No, that's the simple answer is no, they haven't. So, but yeah, look, Big Mason, I think he's got a fair bit of footy left in him. He's got a lot of footy left in him for mine.
What about Daniel Talia, who's been a good player for a long period of time, but he's someone we haven't heard a lot about of late. I think early on in the trade period, he was probably $1.01 to find a new home, and he had some real currency. Delisted free agent, of course, only turned 30, I think, in the last few days. Has unfortunately had his injury problems over the past year or so. Where's Daniel Talia at?
Look, Daniel, he won't be playing next year, so he's... Well, his family, they wanted to stay in Adelaide. He's got 2 young kids, under 2. So, I mean, his wife's an Adelaide girl, so he didn't really want to leave Adelaide. He did have a chat with Richmond, and I think the Tigers felt the same thing. I think they just felt that it was going to be hard to get him over anyway.
In what's to make the offer attractive enough to
initially, and they also had concerns about his foot, which they have got every right to have. When we spoke to them, that was, I don't know, that would have been well before, just straight after the season, really. And they went with Robbie Tarrant, which was fine. And, yeah, he's having troubles with the tendon in his foot. It's still not much good. He's going to have to go back. He might have to have some more surgery. So,
Jeez.
no, DT won't be playing next year.
So the foot doesn't sound great.
It's not great. It's kept him out for a year, and yeah, he's been rehabbing it and trying to get it right, but it's just not coming good.
So any other conversation with, say, I know Geelong were heavily linked. It was an obvious link to make for someone like Daniel Tarley.
There wasn't. No.
So was Richmond really the only club that had some traction, if you can call it?
Yeah, well, everyone likes him, but you know, he hasn't played for a year, and there's a reason for it, which is this foot tendon that he's got. It's an issue.
Yeah, so even if he was wide open to a move, which he's not because he wants to stay in Adelaide with his young family, it sounds as though the foot may have prohibited.
Well, I was going to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no point in going down that track, and especially now he's had another setback with it. So, yeah, he'll go and have to speak to his surgeon and doctors and whatever, and sort of see where it's at. It just isn't getting any better.
That's bad news. Sad news for Daniel Tarley. He was a good player for a long period of time. So
he was a great player.
He was.
Fantastic player.
He probably should have been at Carlton. They overlooked him. He went to Adelaide.
Well, it's funny,
okay.
that first year with Carlton, they overlooked him. They went with Kane Lucas.
Yes, they did.
They picked the pick before, and Adelaide got him. And I remember the very end of that first season, I got a phone call from Carlton saying, "Oh, we'd be interested in getting Talia."
Oh, then they wanted.
And I rang DT and he said, "They've had their chance. They had the chance to pick me. I was a Carlton fan." And they went with Kane Lucas, so no, I'm staying in Adelaide. So that's pretty much what happened.
You've made your bet, now you can lie on it, DT says.
Basically.
We wish him well. So obviously you got Mason Cox to sort through picks. Is there anything else over the course of what about players? I'm sure you got some likely types in the draft coming up.
Yeah, well, that's all a fair way away. I mean, they're going through all the screenings and testings at the moment. So, I think the West Australian one's this weekend. So, all the state screenings. So, yeah, we've got a number of players in the draft that will be in the mix. So, we'll see how that all unfolds. But that's we sort of turn our attention to it post the trade period. Obviously, the trade period takes up 2.5 weeks. It's only really 10 days, but when you've got it on radio for 2.5 weeks, which we have, yes, that's the sort of situation. So, yeah, we will get into the draft now.
So nothing else to keep you busy in the lead up to the pre-season draft? Perhaps you got any players who are...
Well, again, we've got all our players are contracted outside of Mason and DT, and DT is obviously now not going to be able to go on. So it's really only Mason for us now that's out of contract, and so we know it's all full steam ahead. Get Mason sorted, and then what we'll do is we'll concentrate on the kids and the draft and all that sort of stuff.
Great to have you in here, Pix. Great to have another.
It was a big walk to
get
in here. 15 minutes, yeah. I just still can't get over that hair.
Sorry you had to see that.
I'm sorry I had to see it. I'm going to go and have lunch soon.
Liam Pickering from Bravo, formerly Precision, of course, doing some great things. So gets Johnny Segler to the Hawks, which is great for Johnny. Sounds as though things are looking optimistic for Mason Cox, and unfortunately Daniel Talia, a combination of things, but the body getting the better of him in the end. Been a great player for the Crows for a long period of time, so we wish him well. As we do for you, Liam Pickering, good luck for the rest of the day.
Thank you, Sammy. I'll be seeing you through the office. Stop ringing me.
You will, and I will. Not that it was getting me anywhere anyway. And great to hear that Mason Cox, Fremantle, had reached out. Really appreciate that heads up as well.
Wood tends to buckle and bend under the Aussie sun, but not with Q-Tech. See, unlike other wood coatings that only protect the surface of the wood, Q-Tech gets right inside to nourish and protect it. Order your free Q-Tech sample today at cutek.com.au.